Clearly, it's a night. All right, guys, ready? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Nearly Midnight Movie Chat. Today is a day of infamy. Today is the 68th birthday of one of the most prolific producers in all of Hollywoodland, the current president of Lucasfilm Limited, Kathleen Kennedy. And of course, there's some Batman stuff to talk about too. All that more and call-ins. Get your ass in here. Let's go. Okay, now I'm here. Oh man, that's you know what? You think you do it. You think you get it all set up. You give yourself a 5-minute lead in, right? You're like, I've got it all prepped. I know exactly how to work a show like this. And then you realize that you don't. You realize that you just simply make mistakes. And that's okay, guys. That's okay. Today is, of course, the birthday of the anointed one, handpicked by George Lucas herself to oversee the future of Star Wars. The great, the grand, the Admiral, Kathleen Kennedy. That's right. I'm going to catch so much crap from people that are like, what are you doing praising your chart mode? Kathleen Kennedy is just terrible. Here's the reality of Kathleen Kennedy's situation. Nuh-uh, man. Look, I'm just going to be real with you guys. All right. Like, she's been around for like 40 plus years in the industry. She has produced your childhood. All right. She's had her way. She's had her fingers and thumbs all up in you. We're talking 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink. It's been there your whole life. You just never realized it. But because you don't oversee Star Wars, a lot of people are upset. You know what, though? I think Star Wars is in a good place. I'm very happy with where we find ourselves. I'm very happy with where it is at the moment in time. I'm glad the turmoil of the sequel trilogy has kind of gone away. You know, here we are a year and a half removed from the Rise of Skywalker. Mandalorian season 2 came out, knocked everyone's socks off. The Bad Batch is just getting better and better and better with each and every episode. Really giving us a lot of Star Wars love. You've got the comics are apparently doing really well. The books are doing really well amongst fans. You've got more games coming on the horizon, movies coming on the horizon, and more shows in the horizon. Now is a good time to be a Star Wars fan, and that's awesome. And you know what? I'm going to give it up to the lady herself, Miss Kathleen Kennedy. Very much going to be giving it into Kathleen Kennedy here. Got to bring up this image one more time. I actually really like this thumbnail because it came together real nice, I think. It came together real nice. So good thumbnail on that one. Anyway, let's take a quick look here at the chat, what people have been saying here. Yvonne says, hey, made it. That's great. Thank you. Let's see here. You Just Sucks says, happy birthday, KK. Geeks here says, hope you good. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a bit of a rough day, but I'm good tonight. Lord Slug here says, hashtag we love KK, the savior of Star Wars. Geeks here. Happy birthday, KK. All right. Music Man saying, what's up here? TW, how's it going? Tony, how's it going? Is my mic off? Yeah, my mic, I didn't have it activated anyway. Yeah, it was stupid. All right, let's dive in. What do we got here? H-Bart's here with a $5 super chat, simply just to say, hey, Matt, how are you? Also, 4K just cleared customs. What he's talking about is he ordered me a 4K copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now it has apparently cleared customs. It is now stateside, and it soon will be mine. Yes, oh yes, it will be mine. And that's great, actually. Looking forward to watching it on 4K. Of course, my TV, I'm very much looking forward to watching it on 4K. Thank you very much here. Adam Burke, how's it going there, buddy? Let's see here. TW McKay says, as much as I want to call in, I have no real topic. That's fine, dude. Call in. Just touch the whole, look, I'm just going to do this tonight where we've got, it's just going to be random call-ins. All right. Like I have the one topic of Batman. Other than that, I'm just going to see what's on your guys' mind for the next hour. That's really about it. Call in 2 minutes, say what's up, speak your piece. You know what? And that's really about it tonight. I just want to chill and chat. That's all I care about before I go to bed. I have to be up early and stuff anyway. As always, Rhea, how's it going? How's it going? Come on in. Come on in, you know the number. Let's see. Keji here says, by the way, Jarbo, did you know that Kathleen Kennedy shared the same birthday as a guy that played Draco Malfoy? Oh, really? Tom Felton's birthday is today? Interesting. Interesting. Hold on here. Wait a minute. Hold on. What? Lord Slug here says, what's up with all these sexual rumors coming out of the Batman? First it was Pattinson doing Kravitz on the Batmobile, which, by the way, according to the rumor put forward by dipshit Doomcock, is that it also resulted in a pregnancy. Now the rumor is that they caught Matt Reeves whacking it on set. Like, what? Is okay. I mean, apparently this Batman is like super sensual, and this whole movie is all about getting down and getting gritty with it, grinding on each other, coming to love one another. Or in the case of Matt Reeves, allegedly loving up on himself. And it's natural. We all do it. All right. You know, I'm not going to sit there and be a prude and say, I don't whack it. I don't whack it on set. All right. I keep it private. Maybe that's a bit of TMI. Maybe that's a little bit too much, but you know what? Here's the deal, guys. You all do it, all right? And I won't be shamed. I won't be shamed, but you all do it. Anyway, let's see here. Tim Terrell says, Kathleen Kennedy had no creative input in Lucasfilm product in the 80s. That's a load of crap, sir. She was her first associate producer role was Temple of Doom, and I do believe by Last Crusade, she was also an executive producer. And she was Spielberg's assistant on Raiders. So you know what? He probably confided in her at some point in time, and she probably offered up some suggestion, as all of these people on set tend to do at one point in time or another. You know what? So you can sit there and try to downplay her career, but the reality of it is she's been in with those people. She's been entrenched with those people since the late 70s. It's a long time before I was even born. And I feel like I'm an old man. And she's been doing this since literally before I was born. So no, that's not going to fly here, Tim. Your lies will not fly. Anyway, H-Bart's here with another super chat here. Says, unlimited power. Yes, that's right. Unlimited power. It is what it is. Okay. What? During production of Justice League, the cast was caught doing an orgy. So Zack fired them and did the CG mustache to Cavill as punishment. Well, that is some deep Justice League lore that I didn't know about here. Here we're getting the hot scoops, guys. We're getting the hot takes from H-Barts here. This guy gets guys in the know of what happened. And then they were shooting Justice League. Apparently, everyone just orgied it up. Big old. I mean, look, to be fair, I kind of feel like almost like Olympic Village. All right. So the rumor, like the thing is when you have the Olympics and you have Olympic Village, the amount of sex that happens in Olympic Village apparently is like insane. We're talking like, just like, I don't want to say orgy. It's not orgies. All right. But what you have is you have people from all over the world in the prime of their life, in the best shape of their lives, competing in the Olympics at that moment in time. And they are absolutely, positively, like, just, you know, like, I mean, we're talking like in Adonis form. And they want to get some of that, you know, that they want to relax a little bit. They want to get the edge off. They want to nut. They want to finish. They want to do whatever. The amount of condoms that are used in Olympic Village apparently are astronomical. Like Sochi Olympics, it was like off the charts with how many condoms are being used. Now we're talking COVID. So there may not be as many. I don't know. But the idea, but I mean, think about it like this, right? The reason why I bring it up is actors, when they go in for these kind of roles, when they're doing this, they're also in peak physical form. And I'm not saying like the cast of Justice League had a big old orgy, but it would kind of make sense if it did. These are people like in peak physical forms and the prime of their life. And you're telling me like they're not looking at themselves like, yeah, I'd fuck me, right? And they get all into it, you know, and then they get into each other. So if there was like, if Robert Pattinson was banging Zoe Kravitz on the Batmobile, you know what? Wouldn't shock me. I'd be like, well, were they both consenting adults? Then the answer to that is well done. Who am I to judge them for where they get their kink on if it's done in a safe way? Well, you know, Matt Reeves allegedly Louis C.K.ing this thing may be a bit of a problem. Maybe a bit of a problem. All right. And then apparently, according to Tony here, today is also Daniel Logan's birthday, which is cool. Very, very, very cool. All right. And let's see. All right. Oh, Tim here is like, executive producer is not a writer. She's an executive, not a creative. If you think that executives don't have a say in how some things are done, like at all, I don't think you understand like Hollywood at all. Like really. I just don't. Like what? Anyway. Hold on. Okay, so HBart's here with another hot, so hot. You're gonna need oven mitts to handle this potato of a take, of a claim, of a rumor. Same thing happened with Infinity War and Endgame, allegedly, but this time around, allegedly, Feige allegedly approved it and allegedly joined in. I mean, you think about it like this, right? If, let's say, for example, that did legitimately happen on the set of Infinity War and Endgame, where there was this massive orgy, you know Feige would be at the center of it, right? Like, he would saunter his hedonistic ass out there, just shaking that, you know, pasty ass rear end, right? And he would just be all like, bow to me. And everyone would fall to their feet and they'd like lick his toes and all that stuff, right? And they'd be like, Feige. And he'd be like, do it, give me the gauntlet, you know? And then they get into some weird stuff, man. But I'm telling you, because Feige's got all the power. So he would be the center. Everyone thinks it would be like Robert Downey Jr., right? Because it's RDJ. No. It would be Feige. It would absolutely be Feige. He would come in. He'd have like the nipple piercings and the nipple clamps and like the furry tail butt plug. And like he would be into it. Like that's what he would do. As as Feige says, it is all connected. There we go. There we go. I'm just making jokes. And Adam here comes out with some hot takes, or with some knowledge. Execs have an element of creative control, Tim. And I say this as a film student. Yeah, I know. Ennio here says, Charbo, please stop. I can't stop laughing. All right. Why don't we get into the first thing, like really the only thing I want to talk about here. And that is why at this point in time, the Batman is quite literally, or the Flash is just a Batman movie. Can we be real about that? That the Flash is literally at this point just a Batman movie? Because that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. You know, I know they're doing the Flash and they're like, hey guys, Ezra as Barry Allen in the Flash. Asterisk. That's totally not a Flashpoint movie, even though he said it was Flashpoint. But no, let's think about this here for a second, right? Let's really kind of break this down. By the way, link to call in is currently pinned in the chat. Come on in and line up. We got some people that are back there right now. We'll be getting to you guys here in a minute. But anyway, look, when we talk about, like this image dropped yesterday, okay? And everyone's been waiting for confirmation. Like we've known, like Michael Keaton tossed that little bit of shade a while back. And then we had, but we caught wind that they were filming out, they had photos outside of Wayne Manor from Batman 89. And then like they're shooting in, I think it was like in Glasgow, where they had filmed parts of Batman 89 and all that stuff, right? We knew that. And so, but we still been waiting for like that actual confirmation. Well, this was posted yesterday on Andy Muschietti's Instagram. And a lot of people were like losing their mind over it, right? Because it's like, oh my God, it's the Batman 89. I think this is like the Batman Return suit, isn't it? But anyway, like it's got that bit of blood there. All right. It's got that bit of blood there. And that blood led a lot of people to kind of question whether or not this was going to tie into the Watchmen. Because it just seems like the two are kind of like together, right? It seems like the two are just kind of, they're very similar. If it was on the top, to be more accurate, it would have been on the top left instead of the bottom left. But still, there is that kind of connection that people are making. And it just seems like this is something that even now Warner Brothers might try to do. And I say this because the Watchmen television series was very, very popular for HBO. And people really want more Watchmen. They have, in fact, right here, tied Batman to Watchmen. I think it was Doomsday Clock, right? They had those together where they're merging their universes. We know that DC is so creatively bankrupt at this point in time that they are afraid. In my mind, they are absolutely afraid to tell these kind of stories without connecting it to Batman in some way or another, because Batman is a safe bet. The Flash movie on its own, I'm sorry, not a safe bet. Not a safe bet. Batman's a safe bet. It's been a proven track record. It's why there's more Batman movies than Superman films. It's why there's more Batman movies than a lot of other things. Is because people want Batman. And with that comes kind of like the universe around it. So they're going to have to funnel everything through Batman. So there's a reason why Ben Affleck is coming back to either wrap up his character or to do whatever. We have no idea. For The Flash. They're bringing in Michael Keaton's Batman for what appears to be not just like a very simple cameo, but all things considered, with this image right here showing us point blank that this is something that's going to be like a massive part of it, obviously with blood or a jelly donut. I don't know. The texture of the blood really kind of throws a lot of people off, but it does look quite a bit like human bean juice, which would once again tie it back into Watchmen. So it does feel like this is the angle that they're going to be taking. And then there's also been rumors, and I don't know how true this is, but there's also been rumors that apparently they're talking to Christian Bale, trying to get Christian Bale to cameo. And I would think that if the rumors are true about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield potentially popping up in Spider-Man No Way Home, which those rumors have been heating up for months with no one denying it directly. I mean, Andrew Garfield did deny it, and then he kind of rescinded that denial. But this could be Warner Brothers once again going like, how do we catch up to Marvel with something that is going to be guaranteed to put butts in seats following the 2020 pandemic and following all of these other things? And that, of course, would be add as much Batman as humanly possible, because when it comes to live action stuff, this is what you've got the most of. This is what you have the most of. And if Adam West was still alive, they probably would find a way to bring him back too. And that's so unfortunate that he died, because I loved Adam West. But it goes to show you that right now, looking at what they're putting together, this is obviously what they're going for. They are going to use Michael Keaton and they're going to use Batman so much in the marketing, so much in the lead up to this movie, that The Flash is now just a fucking Batman movie. It's just a goddamn Batman movie featuring The Flash is what it's going to be. And I can't help it. And look, here's the thing with that. I'll be real. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I liked Ezra in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I thought he was great as Barry Allen. That is not the Barry Allen we're going to be getting in this movie. The Barry Allen we're going to be getting in this movie is going to be Barry Allen from Justice League, because that's a sequel to Justice League. So we're not getting this good Barry Allen, this more matured Barry Allen, this one who's gone through the trials and tribulations of understanding what it means to have the power of the Speed Force Barry Allen. No, we're getting faceplant boob Barry Allen. We're getting cowardly Barry Allen. That's what we're getting. And so, of course, in order to be able to sell it, because it's been 4 years since Justice League came out, and we're just now getting a Flash movie. I mean, it's been so mishandled. It's been absolutely so mishandled that the only conceivable way for this property to move forward with any kind of metrics of potential success is going to be tying it into the Batman. And why? Because when it comes to merchandising, they'll be able to pull back out 89 Batman merch, Christian Bale Batman merch, Ben Affleck Batman merch. They'll be able to pull out all of that stuff and be able to remarket it back to you. And considering that Batman is still the number one merchandisable product that comes out of DC Comics, there you have it. The Flash at this point is simply just a Batman movie under a different name. And I want to hear your thoughts on this. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. If you guys agree with me or whatnot. right? Like, I'm just kind of curious because I think there's a lot there. There's interesting stuff across the board, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. Let me go and take a quick look here at the chat to see what you guys are saying. All right, let me go back up here. Okay. All right. Geeks here says DC is the new Sony, pretty much. Cosmic here says Flash will erase the DCEU. There's that. Jess here wants the damn Robin movie. Sure. We're supposed to get we were supposed to get a Nightwing movie from Chris McKay. His next film is the Tomorrow War starring Chris Pratt, which comes out on Amazon here pretty soon. Remix here says, Batman is great, my fave superhero, but he's becoming overexposed. DC is running the risk of making Batman stale if they only focus on him and not other comic book characters. Well, and I totally forgot about Robert Pattinson, by the way. Like that, I totally forgot about Robert Pattinson bringing him into this, although I'm not too sure if that's going to happen. It would make the most amount of sense to have a Flash, pun intended, into that universe for the multiverse type stuff. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do with it. But come on, looking at how they've done everything else, it all comes across as just kind of crazy. And then, let's see here. HBart's here with the $5 super chat saying here, if Affleck does not die in this film, what does that mean for the future? God, I can only hope. HBO Max. I hope that. I don't necessarily see it happening at this point in time, but I hope that there is enough love for Affleck, that it ends up pushing them towards that. But I have a feeling Keaton is going to be that main draw. Affleck's coming in to kind of wrap things up, to give a conclusion. And Keaton's going to be the main draw, which is unfortunate because it should be Affleck. Absolutely should be Affleck. Neon Sci-Fi it's human bean juice, not human being, but that's what's from Watchmen. Adam here is rip Adam West 100%. H. Bartz says here, also, you could see Cavill is in the US and Black Adam is being filmed in Atlanta. Maybe a cameo. That'd be nice. That would blow things up too. If you bring in Cavill and Black Adam and those rumors come to fruition, hell yeah. That's definitely something. That's definitely something on that one right there. We're having to wait and see. Let's see here. Lord Slug says in 2022, we will see 3 live action Batman. Yeah, we will. That's crazy to think about too, but it's also it is. I kind of agree with the oversaturation, although I'm excited for all 3 Batman, and I still think they're going to find a way to tie in Joker to Matt Reeves, the Batman, especially if they're trying to connect the multiverse. If they're trying to do a Joker sequel, having it tie into something down the road is going to make a lot of sense. But here, in the meantime, we don't quite know just yet. Cosmic here, Flashpoint Paradox. Yep, that's true. You Do Suck says the Flash is overrated, but Music Man says the Flash deserves better. That is, I agree. And then Adam here is saying my headcanon is Zack Snyder's Justice League, but sadly it won't be official canon, which is lame. It's absolutely lame that it's like that, but it is what it is. Carlos here with a $20 super chat, man. Thank you so much. Says we will have Tim Burton's Robin references as well, since this is an older Batman and Robin was supposed to be in the 3rd film. Well, maybe. I'm sure something. They're going to do something to tie it in. They're going to want to do something to expand upon the universe. But at this point, we only have had that one reference to Robin in BVS, and they may not do it. And is it going to be Marlon Wayans as Robin? Finally give him the chance to show up and play that role, because he's been getting royalties for it for damn near 30 years. So, is it going to be him that's going to be in it? I don't know. Now, if they bring back Marlon Wayans, because I saw him pop up recently in some interviews, and I thought that was interesting that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Marlon Wayans is getting brought up. And he's talking about some of the stuff with working on Scary Movie. And I think he talked about a little bit of the things working with, he talked about Scary Movie franchise. But if they start trying to find a way to bring Marlon Wayans back into the limelight and get people talking about him, yeah, I could see him maybe popping up as a Robin. That would be something that would blow everyone's mind. I think that would blow everybody away. As much as having Nicolas Cage cameo as Superman in the Flash movie. If they did that too, I would lose my mind. I would fully lose my mind if they did that. And at this point, I feel like they're going to throw everything against the wall to see what's going to stick. That's how I see it. I think they're going to throw everything against the wall to see what's going to stick. We'll have to wait and see on that. But thank you very much for that. All right. I did see I know I'm trying to get to the super chats first. All right, McLeod 2692 Canadian $10. Thank you. Says, I've heard that the Batman 89 comic that's coming out is going to maybe tie into the Flash film, explaining how Bruce Wayne reaches. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I reset everything before going live, and StreamYard is still just having issues. All right. And I think with this comic, it's going to go back and it's going to give us this backstory, and that's going to be great. And it's possible that it's going to be very similar to the first episode of Batman Beyond, where we see Bruce, hold the gun and freak out and then drop it and then put up the cape and cowl. That could be it too. That could be a reason. Although Keaton's Batman, he murders people. He straight up murders people. So who knows? Who knows what's going to push him to that point in time? Maybe he's just going to get his ass beat somewhere down the road. So, all right. And then Simon's section here says, whatever happened to Steven Spielberg's DC movie Black Hawk? Apparently it's still in its thing, but it's still kind of it's in development, I think. But at the same time, the way I look at it, it's like this: Warner Brothers is in such flux right now. They're more focused on Spielberg's West Side Story, which I think is Warner Brothers. I think, or is it Disney? I don't know. I don't even care about the West Side, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's been so many years. It's probably not going to happen. So we'll have to figure that one out. All right. Now Geeks here says Flash needs his solo film. I completely agree. Enyo here says, hey Jarbo, if the US and Canada mirage into one singular country, how do you think it will affect the movie? I mean, it's all about the reason why people go to Canada to go do that stuff has everything to do with the what's it called? The tax incentives that they get, right? The tax. Okay. So TW has a thing there about Blackhawk. All right, cool. So, all right. Yeah. Okay. So it's 20th Century Studios is West Side. Thank you very much. I don't know why I thought it was Warner's. My bad. I'm mad. Why don't I read your chats? Because I don't really like you. So I don't read your shit. So kind of understand that I don't care about you, Bronx. I'm sorry. Stop dropping racist shit and I won't have to worry about you. All right. So let's get into, I'll drop the link. There's a chat link to come on in, pinned to everything. And, we'll drop it one more time if you guys want to come on in. So let's get in, to the first guy. You know him. He's here all the time. He's coming up right now. I see him. He's excited. He's look, he's so happy. He's so happy. He's bouncing around. Anthony, how's it going? I'm doing good, man.
Doing great.
You look good. You got your Popeye shirt
and everything.
Nice. So, how's your day?
It's been going very good. My mom went to the flea market in Pennsylvania. I got some new goodies.
Nice. Wait, so your mom drove from what, Long Island?
No, Queens.
Okay, I'm sorry. I still don't understand.
My stepdad.
Okay, so they drove from Queens all the way to Pennsylvania to get your comics?
To get my comics and my shirts and other stuff from a flea market.
Well, I mean, you can't really knock that. That's pretty cool, right? I wish my mom would be like, I'm going to go across state lines to go and get you some stuff.
Yeah, my mom is pretty good looking. I got
the Final Night Hitman. Who is that?
He like a vigilant DC's Punisher.
Oh, DC's got a Punisher, huh? Okay. And then you got Starman. All right.
And another Hitman.
Cool.
And I got this.
All right. The Green Lantern Gallery. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm doing good and everything. How was your week since I last spoke to you, even though today is my Aunt Lily's birthday?
Well, happy birthday to your Aunt Lily. My
and Aunt Sharon. Okay. And Aunt Sharon.
Oh, and Aunt Sharon. Okay, got to make sure we get both Aunt Lily and Aunt Sharon. No, I'm going okay. I just took last night off. I was just tired,
Yeah, I was just tired too. But the thing is, I'm doing good and everything. I got Cruella, Wrath of Man, and Army of the Dead now on Skylar.
Nice. Did you watch Army of the Dead?
No, I did not. No, I have not seen it yet, but I haven't got a chance. I was looking at my Skylar and said, bam, here we go.
Well, okay, man. Well, then after this stream, you need to go watch Army of the Dead.
I will go watch it with my mom and my but my mom wants to watch Cruella.
Yeah. My girlfriend wants to watch that as well.
But the thing is, I'm excited for Spider-Man this upcoming Monday. The trailer.
Does it come out on Monday?
Well, they're saying yes. They're saying yes that it will come out on Monday.
Who's saying that? I haven't heard that at all. I'm not saying it's not going to happen.
Comic book cast.
Well, okay. Armin is not necessarily known for having like the best up-to-date information.
I do have. Armin's a liar, you know.
Well, no, it's Armin. Look. Here's the thing with Armin. All right, Armin. You know, like the guy will chase any lead that comes across his desk, and it doesn't really like matter what it is. You know, like he never gives a thought to it. But you know, he'll go. Okay, guys, here's this rumor. I don't know if it's real, but let me tell you about the rumor. All right, so Henry Cavill is going to be back in the DCEU as not Superman, but Bizarro Superman. That's the rumor that I'm hearing.
But he talks like this. He talks like this.
I can't look. I know he's like Siberian. I think he's like Serbian, isn't he?
Siberian.
I can't. Siberian, yeah.
Siberian American. So I'm doing good. I can't wait for Comic-Con. The tickets are on sale now. The tickets are going to be on sale next month.
Nice, man. Nice.
I'm losing weight. You can tell I lost some weight.
Yeah, you look like you lost a little bit of weight, dude. That's good, man. That's
you know why I'm eating healthy and everything. I had pizza for dinner. You know,
I don't know if I'd say pizza is legitimately healthy, but I mean, like, you know what? It's got vegetables and it's got protein.
Yeah,
and you got marinara sauce. There you go.
Look at this.
Yeah, when you're working out, dude, you gotta be working out. You gotta to smash those ladies, man.
And Brooklyn Nets won. The Brooklyn Nets won tonight. I'm so happy.
That's good. You should be out partying in the streets. Yeah, everybody else.
The thing is, Jill wasn't there. Unfortunately, she works a second job at a New York City gym called Bricks or whatever.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, that's no good. But I mean, at least she's working.
Yeah, she works 2 jobs. You know, I wish I can go on a date with her.
Well, I mean, you know, you might one day. You never say never. And anything could happen. No. Anything could happen.
With the trauma thing, that unfortunately they're busy right now.
Well, I get that. You know, the thing is, nothing ever like, you know, okay. Have you ever seen The Fifth Element?
I would love to.
All right. Well, The Fifth Element came out in '97, and Luc Besson, the guy who wrote it and directed it, started working on the story when he was 16. And the movie came out when he was in his 30s. So it took him a long time to get that movie made. So some of these things, they take time to get to where you need them to get to because, you know what, it's just something like life gets in the way.
Yeah, it's just trauma is busy right now. I'm doing good and everything, you know. I'm doing good. Shout out to Anthony's mom. Thank you, W. Matt K. You know, but New York Comic Con is gonna happen.
Good. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna go to San Diego this year, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, they're gonna have it at the end of the year, San Diego.
Yeah, they're having it on Thanksgiving weekend of all things, which is very weird.
Yeah, no, I can't wait.
Thanksgiving weekend.
I can't wait to. Thank you, Andrew. I cannot wait to meet my cousin Jessica. I know Blair's birthday's coming up very soon.
Nice.
Blair Hutler, Jessica's cousin, who's my cousin-in-law.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with them, so.
Well, Blair's in charge of the new G4.
What is that? I have no idea.
G4 TV is coming back. He's a VP.
Oh, G4. Oh, right. Sorry. G4 TV. Yeah.
VP. He's a VP.
I just hope it doesn't suck this time because, like, at the end of G4, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, no, everybody left. Jessica left. Right now, Jessica is filming season 3 of her show Expedition X. I watch that all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, Jessica I think, is my distant cousin.
Well, yeah, you said, you guys have this. Your last name is very unique. Like my last name is pretty unique. So it's kind of like I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. You said Anthony but I saw her a long time ago. You know, I don't remember. You know, it's been 30 years ago, almost.
Sure.
30 years. Yep.
Well, I mean, you got to reach out and maybe reconnect. Now we're all kind of in the age of reconnection, you know, and
yeah, I'm almost in my 40s and everything. Lewis is going to be 67 soon.
Okay.
My mom is 59.
Well, yeah, that's still a good age, dude. 50 is the new 40, dog. Come on, man. 40 is the new 30 and 20 is the new, I don't know.
I'm gonna think about adding you on the channel membership very soon.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. But all right. Well, hey, man, I'm gonna let you go because I got more people to get to.
Peace.
I appreciate you coming on. We'll talk again soon, buddy. Thank you very much. All right, real quick here. Just want to go McLeod here. Another $10. Thank you, sir. It says, oh, and the comic will also feature the return of Catwoman / Selena Kyle, introduced to Tim Burton verse Robin, and further explaining Billy D. Williams, Harvey Dent, and him finally becoming Two-Face. Oh, that's going to be cool. That's going to be worth it to read. I feel like that's going to be fun. Anything to kind of envision Michelle Pfeiffer back in that cat suit. You know what I mean? I mean, like, oh, Michelle Pfeiffer. That's that's a good look. That's a good thing. Yeah, anyway, appreciate that. And then also, you suck here says, don't give up on your dreams. 100%. Don't give up on your dreams. Okay, so here with apparently some information surrounding the Black Hawk movie, but the Steven Spielberg thing. TW,
howdy.
How's it going, man?
I'm good. I'm glad to see that you're doing all right, Jarbo.
It's been a bit of a rough week. Cat still hasn't come back yet, so and I just haven't been sleeping. Like, this is weird to say. I've been waking up at 3 a.m, like every night, and I just can't go back to bed.
Is it just kind of, you think it's something like psychosomatic or something like that, or?
Well, for me, it's like my knees flare up. It's weird, and it's like they feel heavy, and I don't know what the hell's going on. But I've been waking up even today, like for example, like I went to bed last night early. I took a melatonin, but I found out it was an expired melatonin about like 3 years. I had no idea. So
was like the lewd scene in Wolf of Wall Street,
except it hit me like today, because I had to be up at 7.
Went straight into the cerebral palsy phase while you were driving.
Well, because like I had to take my girlfriend to get her car worked on, and then I got to go pick her up for that like around like 10:30, and we got back from doing that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go like check my bed for a second, because like I thought something was weird. I have a Tempur-Pedic bed.
Go check your bed, and
I laid down, and then she just comes on in, and she's like, in case you fall asleep, she turned on the white noise machine, and I blacked out for like 4 hours.
Attaboy. Sometimes you just need that. Sometimes you just need something like that.
But I've been napping, but I nap when I put my kids down, right? So I put them down at 12:30.
So like, at least you get yourself a couple
hours, but I've been but because I haven't slept at night, I've been like sleeping for like 3 hours in the afternoon, which is like,
and then I kind of winds up messing up the sleep cycle.
Yeah, so I'm all over the place right now, and I took last night to just kind of reset things, and it didn't even work.
Yeah, and then thinking about the rebodying of or whatever it is for your car. My dad, poor guy. We live with family, and they had to move the truck, right? Because my dad got a brand new 2021 truck, and they had to move it because the landscapers were coming to mow the lawn in the backyard. Because it's parked around the sort of the side of the house, so like coming around the corner, doesn't the other family member scratch this brand new truck along the side, damage the running boards, caused my old man $2,600 Canadian dollars. Thankfully, family paid for it, which was good. But it was just like woof.
Oh no, like 3 years ago, my sister backed into my car.
Oh,
and dented
that's the
front
part when it's family, right?
The front fender, the front driver fender of the car, driver's side fender of the car,
God.
And but it also impacted my door. And it's like I didn't have. She never admitted that she did it, and she totally did it, because I've got video footage of the car, like an hour before I left, because like my dad, it was like Father's Day, and my dad had come home, and we did this little thing to surprise him, and you can see my car, and you can see the fender's fine. And then she left, and then all of a sudden it was dented. It literally took me until early this year to finally come up with the cash to be able to pay off to do. It was like I got my stimulus, and I was able to like use my stimulus to like pay the $500 deductible in order to finally get a new fender on my car. And like my sister, still 3 years, will not acknowledge that she did anything. And I'm like, I'm not even like asking you to pay for it. I'm just asking that you acknowledge that you hit my car and that you didn't say anything about it for 3 years. Yeah. And it's like, she won't do it. And I'm like, I know you did it because no one else came and went. It's just, it is what it is. Like, it didn't impact the car, but it was, I don't want to say embarrassing to drive around like that for 3 years, but it was, actually it worked out really well for doing Uber delivery, because when I'd pull up, I'd open the door and you'd hear this loud pop, right?
And
Because the
then
door
you're-
would be connecting with this, so people would know that I was there. I could never like
It's like
sneak
your
up
own
on
personal
anybody.
push notification.
Yeah, it's all like pop. Oh, the
Oh,
driver's
there it
here. Okay, someone is clearly outside. It's dark. I can't see anything. But
I'm glad to see you
I've
found a
heard
W out of that.
well, you got to find out. You got
You
to
gotta
where
find
you
the
can.
humor in life, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Well,
okay,
yeah,
what
I'll
did,
approach that. Yeah, because the Black Hawk thing back in December. This is about what now? What we're coming on 6 months ago. About
Yeah.
6 months ago, David Kep is the screenwriter for this film. So Kep posted on an Instagram a picture of him looking outside at his, nicely, looking out the window, just nice snowfall where he is, and posted a video of not terrible view for work today, #screenwriting, and on the laptop is the Black Hawk script. It's a page, and then the title page is on the left-hand side.
okay, and that's it.
So, yeah, it's just kind of saying, hey, kind of, and then someone asked him, hey, are you still working on it? And he's like, yep. So at least they're still putting together a script. That's really all we know.
The reality of it probably is the script has been sitting for a number of years.
And then they were nice enough to give it to Kep because it's like, well, the guy did help put Jurassic Park together,
Yeah, but he also did like War of the Worlds, and then he also did Kingdom of the Crystal Skull with Lucas.
I'm not saying the guy bats 1,000. I'm just saying,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Kep has written a lot of good stuff. Okay, but
didn't he write the script for Event Horizon, or am I thinking of somebody else?
I thought that was Paul W.S. Anderson directed that one.
I'm not directed, but the script that he.
Let me see. Event Horizon.
I'll look up Kep just to see what else.
Yeah, let's see
because I know he did the first.
It was written by Philip Eisner.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Either way. Oh, there.
I do like
Mission Impossible, Lost World.
Yeah. No, I mean David Kep. Well, David Kep has written good movies,
Oh, he wrote the O2 Spider-Man movie. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was I think he was one of the writers on that.
Well, yeah.
He's done a lot, but hasn't done as much like in recent years, it feels like.
Yeah. And then
he took he did The Mummy in 2017. And then nothing until 2020.
Yes.
And then I guess he's writing the new Indiana Jones the movie. And then he's doing Green Hornet and Kato. Do we really need like another Green Hornet movie?
Is it like going to be in the same quote unquote like universe?
No, it's going to be a reboot. It's going to be like because the thing is the Green Hornet came out in 2011, January 2011, I think is when that one came out. And
of course, January.
It was just Sony dumped it to January, and you always know. Always know if it's dumped to January. Well, no, things have changed since then in recent years.
Yeah, but like every once in a while, you kind of get your gems in January where it's just like, why'd you put this in here when no one would see it? Doesn't make sense. But that's pretty much
that's what they do. Yeah, but then it's even on his IMDb. Is he listed as Black? I don't see Blackhawk as something he's writing,
which is very strange. Maybe it's listed as Black Hawks because that's what it says. Like the.
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. But
yeah, either way, I don't know. But this was 6 months ago. Like I don't know what may or may not have changed. In that time span, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I think even Spielberg is having problems getting movies made these days. Yeah, and it's got to be big. It's got to be a big deal for him, I think.
Yeah. Ryan Hartwell in chat was just giving us a quick heads up that you have 2 super chats here.
Oh, okay. I'll get to those here in a second.
Yeah, not a problem.
I'm looking through like Spielberg, what he's working on right now, and so apparently, like he's the executive producer of Gremlins 3. There's, I guess, Real Steel 2, and according to this one here, an untitled third Tintin movie. And then also the Adventures of
Tintin. A second Tintin movie.
No, there's not. There's one here called The Adventures of Tintin: Red Rackham's Treasure. And I mean, and then he's also like, he's just producing a bunch of stuff at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, but then again, like, how much is he doing? You know what I mean? Like, because I'll tell you
how much is Spielberg doing? Like,
exactly. And I'll bring it up. I saw this today, and I'll quickly post this screenshot. I took this from Instagram, so it's kind of lower quality, but it's interesting. It's kind of interesting. I'll just Aldous Bray. God damn it. I'll bring it up here. All right. And I'll get to the super chats in a second, guys. I promise you, we'll get through and then we'll move on to other people. But so this is something that popped up today on Instagram, posted by DC Olympus. I have no freaking idea like where this came from or who is saying what. But so, you know, he posted this. Apparently it's a Facebook post.
Of words.
Yeah, I'll read it off here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'll read it off. He says, I just want to point out who the bad guy at Warner Brothers is. It's Toby Emmerich. When he worked at New Line, where he mentored Walter Hamada, he was infamous for effing people over. He screwed Peter Jackson and the Tolkien estate out of all residuals, i.e. money. And that was a factor. That was a thing. I don't know if Emmerich did it, but that was a big issue when it came to Peter Jackson having to sue Warner Brothers and New Line over that.
The Tolkien estate.
Well, I mean,
as well. Like,
yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I don't, but again, I don't know who posted this, so I cannot say that this is legit. I just remember hearing about the residuals and everything else.
I'm not even saying it was Emmerich. I'm saying if that actually happened to the Tolkien estate, regardless, that is not cool.
Well, there might be a reason why they ended up going back and doing why they wanted to go work with Amazon, because there's money up front, because all that front end $250 million, are you really going to turn that down? So then it goes on to say that the only reason Jackson did the Hobbit movies was because he and Tolkien Estate sued New Line Cinema and agreed to receive residuals on Lord of the Rings in order to do the Hobbit. It's called Hollywood math, where guys like Toby use fancy spreadsheets to make profitable movies look like a loss on paper. Now that is a thing in Hollywood. I mean, I think even Lucas did that with Empire Strikes Back so David Prowse never got residuals. There's a whole big thing about like Prowse getting effed over when it came to residuals from Star Wars. And that's him and Lucas have like battled it out to where Lucas banned him from Star Wars Celebration. So, there's
I did know that.
That's some stuff there. Anyway, so this is where it gets crazy.
When you read the reply,
I'm going to get to the reply here when we get to it, but it says next Toby moved to Warner Brothers and got cozy with Jeff Johns. We all know Jeff Johns and Feige are butt buddies, so there's that connection. But here's the fun one. Joss Whedon was a college roommate with Toby Emmerich for 4 years. They lived together and have been best friends ever since. Now, I don't know if that's true in this. I have no idea if that is true.
Because which line were you reading there?
It says Joss Whedon was college roommates with Toby Emmerich for 4 years. That's what it's saying. I have no idea if it's true or not. So this is then it gets into the thing. It says, now when the investigations into Warner Brothers by Ray Fisher started, who was it that came over to Warner Brothers from New Line Cinema? Why is Toby old friend he mentored Hamada? Clearly the bias is obvious here. Then Toby Emmerich pulled another FU and Warner is no longer paying residuals for 1984 that they are contractually obligated to pay. Who did they step on? Who did they stop money going to? Zack Snyder. Now, Zack will be suing Warner Brothers the same way Peter Jackson sued New Line Cinema. History repeats itself, and no one called out Toby, the mastermind of fuckery. So the thing with that, though, is like you look at something like the thing with Wonder Woman 84, if there aren't any residuals to be made, because residuals generally come when there's profit.
That helps.
If there was no profit on the movie, then they wouldn't be paying him anything. Now, but here's the other thing to consider on that too, is when it comes to suing in Hollywood is as common as anything else. It is not a personal deal. In many instances, these people sue each other constantly over these kind of things. So that is not something, I would not look at that as being this massive, like, oh my God, sort of thing. It has a lot to do. This is just kind of standard business practice. Hollywood is a messed up, terrible business, by the way. It really is.
No, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm in agreement. It's just
it really is like that. It really is that kind of terrible. Now, the other thing here to consider here is that, so then you have this response from a guy who says the entire studio was full of scum. The new head of Warner Brothers was from BBC. She helped cover up Jimmy Savile and his crimes of raping and murdering children. Now, the thing is, like, Savile was accused by over 400 children of rape, torture, and murder, even raping dead kids. Warner Brother heads swept it all under the rug for decades. Now, that is a very incendiary.
Now, Savile did some bad stuff. I don't think he did all of that, but he did some bad stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I've never heard of the murder angle on this one.
I've heard of.
All right.
No, nor have I. Nor
Because
have I
that would have
heard
been a
about the
big
other-
that would have been a big deal, right? Like that would have been a pretty big deal. And I'm just seeing like there's a lot of, definitely on the
What's
child.
What's nuts about Savile though is the fact that like Johnny Rotten, John Lydon, like threw out shade about what Savile had allegedly done in 1978.
Yeah.
So like this is stuff that like no one said anything about for God knows how long. Now again, I have no idea how Ann Sarnoff plays into any.
Well,
of
Ann
this.
Sarnoff oversaw BBC America. So she was in charge of BBC America.
So like
that's
seems
a whole
like a stretch.
That's a hell of a stretch.
Like,
That's a hell of a stretch right there. Right? Like it's just because he died in 2011 and the accusations about him came out only a couple years ago. Like I'm trying to remember. I think it was like 20.
Yeah, I'm on his Wikipedia page here.
Yeah, there's a lot to read there. There's definitely a lot to read there.
It's a lot. The first allegations were made in 2012.
Okay, so like 5 years out. So it was after his death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So the next year
Wow.
after his death and whatnot, and so it's like, but no, to sit there and say BBC America, the head of BBC, they covered this up, that they covered up the death of children. I mean, this is like how far it goes to in some of these circles, right? It gets really crazy in some of these circles. And so again, like the thing is like, I don't know if Joss Whedon and Toby Emmerich are friends.
There's nothing on the Wikipedia page. I know you shouldn't be citing Wikipedia, but at least on Wikipedia you can still go to the sources at the bottom and follow the paper trail, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, like I just typed it in like on there. I mean, look, here's the thing: Joss Whedon knows everybody. Joss Whedon knows everybody in Hollywood. That is true.
He's Hollywood. He's Hollywood kind of screenwriter royalty in the sense that he's a third generation Hollywood screenwriter.
Well, there's that, and he also does a lot of pickup work for a lot of people. That's a
fair point.
He'll do a lot of script doctoring, and the script doctoring is one of those things that's going to end up really working for him. As it goes on, you know what I mean?
Because he gets to put it under a pseudonym or just choose not to be credited or something.
Yeah, but he still makes a lot of money.
Talk to the union about whatever, right?
Yeah, and he still makes a lot of money on it, and he's got a lot of friends on the back end.
And that's like we talked before about what you'd have to like the movies if you were going to try and strip him clean out of Hollywood. The movies and things you'd have to take him off of name wise would be like insane.
And that's the whole point. Is at this point, we're never going to get, like, it's never going to come back around. And you're never going to find, the thing is, Joss Whedon's career in 5 years' time will be fine. It will be fine. Like the Nevers has done well enough for HBO Max, and that's all him.
I don't think he'll show run again. I can see you doing, like you said, like him doing script doctoring, but like I don't see him.
I think he'll do movies like when he did, I think it was, what was that Shakespeare one he did from his house?
It was an adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah. Was it? Or I think that's what it was. I was like, is it a Midsummer Night's
Dream?
Dream? No. But the thing is, like, he's got all those friends and they all owe him favors. And you know what? Here's the deal with that. He'll be able, here's kind of how Hollywood works on this front. It's like, look at Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, 2006, drunk as all hell, gets pulled over in Malibu, California, starts denigrating the Jews. You never do that.
I know. I'm not laughing at what he said. I'm laughing just like, oh yes, this is the thing that he said.
Yeah, that is. And that was the same weekend I found out that my family was Jewish. That was like really interesting. And so anyway, he went away for a long time. And then, but he still did some stuff here and there. He still popped up,
like Apocalypto and stuff like that.
Well, Apocalypto, what was on its way coming out that same year.
Okay, so yeah.
And then he also had that Martin Campbell Edge of Darkness movie, which was like lit. That movie was good, and he was great in it.
I'll have to check that out.
I think it's called Edge of Darkness.
Martin Campbell. That name sounds really.
Edge of Darkness is a 2010 conspiracy theory action film, directed by Martin Campbell and starring Mel Gibson. It's really good. It's Like it's you get it. It's kind of like Mel Gibson. It's like rageful Mel Gibson, but also Mel Gibson then went on to go do a bunch of smaller films, right? He did a bunch of smaller movies right around that same time, and he did one that I highly recommend. I want to talk about it because it's really 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 good. And let me just find it here real quick if I can find it on his Wikipedia. Come on, this is films. I just need to see his films. I don't need. Oh my god, it was okay. Did you ever see Payback?
A long time ago.
All right, so so Payback is okay. So you remember the general idea of who the character is, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's like is he in a cab or something like that, or am I thinking of something else?
There's a cab. He's a driver. He starts off in the cab because he got shot, and then it's this whole thing.
Yes, now I remember Payback.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's another movie that he was in that came out. It pretty much went straight to Netflix, and I just fucking forget what it's called. Okay, hold on.
Is he an actor or is he a director?
He's an actor. He's an actor in it. It came out and it's called Get the Gringo. It's called Get the Gringo.
Yes,
right.
I haven't seen the film, but I do remember it.
Get the Gringo is effectively a sequel to it feels like a sequel to Payback, but it's like, again, it's Mel Gibson, and he's excellent in it. It's a great film, and he was, again, what I'm trying to say here is he was doing all of these movies, during this controversy, and everyone was all bitch and moan, but he kept working to then he comes out and he does, what does he do? He does Fat Man. Fat Man was like excellent last year. A lot of people loved it, and that kind of put him back up there. He directed Hacksaw Ridge, where Andrew Garfield was up for Best Actor, and it was up for Best Picture. So it ends up kind of, people move past everything. They move past all of this stuff because it only really matters about what you do next, right? Or your last project. If your last project is good, no one's going to care.
I think pretty much anything short of you going, like, obviously Mel Gibson went to jail, but I mean, like, but then again, what was that movie was it 98? Was like Wonder or something like that. Ethan Hawke was in it. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Anyways, long and short, it was like a Buena Vista picture. The director was hired. The movie was made. The dude was a convicted sex offender.
No. You're talking about Powder.
Powder, that's the name
Powder,
of the film.
and it was, the director was a convicted sex offender, and it was Sean Patrick Flannery. It wasn't.
Excuse me,
wasn't Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, yes, but that was it. I'm getting my actors messed up there, but yeah, I remember reading that, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, no, that was bad for Disney. But then that guy went on to go do Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2. I think. What? I know he did the first. He launched the Jeepers Creepers franchise.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, he came back around years again and again. The thing is, everyone knew, right? But like, no one cared because it wasn't a big deal. Like, we're in a different age now, obviously, where like this stuff is going to get around, and it's good.
That was almost 25 years ago, right?
So it was a major thing back then. I looked into this guy just recently, which is why like I know all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but the whole thing though is that Hollywood is only really going to care about, what happens next. It's okay. So like, even going to look at like David Zaslav talking about like the DC or like the Warner Brothers merging with Discovery, and everyone's talking about how like, oh, he mentioned Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, the first 3 things he says. But then like at the end of that, he said Entourage, which
you and I talked about at length in the back room the week that happened.
Yeah.
For those who don't remember, basically, long and short, you have obviously Jeremy Piven was accused of sexual misconduct. But beyond that, again, these are allegations. I want to cover my hindquarters.
And what happened? And Jeremy Piven, by the way, just yesterday or the other day was tweeting about like the 27th anniversary of PCU and talking about a potential sequel.
Wow.
And the comments were like, hell yeah, give me another, because there was only accusations.
Yeah.
He went away for a couple years.
It's like the Kevin Connolly thing too, because Kevin Connolly also had some kind of serious accusations against him.
He was
well.
There was some accusations, and then he did that Gotti movie that was so Gotti awful.
I heard that movie was absolutely.
It was
horrible.
I mean, I think more people would give a shit about the fact that movie was bad versus anything else. But again, look, I'm making a joke, obviously, but it's like,
of course,
when you think about it and you think about how the industry operates and all these things operate, it's all about money, and it's all about, can you get more of it? And so a lot of these people, they don't care about controversy. Like, the actor Charles Dutton?
Yeah, oh yeah, he had I remember what
He murdered a guy.
Yeah.
I read about that in my psychology book when I was in high school back in the 90s.
It's the reason he like poof disappeared after like Alien 3 or whatever was his
No,
last
Charles,
film.
he was around all through the 90s.
Was he?
Oh no, yeah, I think he killed but he killed a guy. You know, I mean, look at Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner, who's running for governor of California potentially.
Yep.
Caitlyn Jenner car crash killed a person.
Yep.
And like no remorse from Caitlyn Jenner, none publicly, to the point of where South Park made fun of her at the in the 2016 election.
I remember that,
and like, a lot of people weren't too sure what that meant. They were like, "What is this joke?" But those of us who paid attention culturally were like, "Oh, damn, that's messed up." And the thing is, now 4 or 5 years later, she's talking about running for governor of California.
Wow, 75. I'm just looking at 75 YBA's comments. Like he tossed all his Singer DVDs.
Oh yeah, the Singer thing. See, the Singer thing is interesting too, and I do need to get to the super chats. I'm very sorry.
If you want to, the super chats,
I will say this.
Kick me out. If you want
yeah, I probably will because I know I see people that are way back there.
I'll just say the one last thing related to the Batman thing. I was thinking, just a sort of food for thought. What if what happens to Keaton's Batman is what happens to the comedian, thus explaining the blood?
Maybe. Again, I have a feeling they're going to throw literally everything at the wall.
Yeah.
Anyways,
if you want to kick me out and get the next guy in, that's fine.
I will say this to you because also in response to 75 YBS comment about Singer.
Yeah.
Roland Emmerich was heavily involved in a lot of Singer stuff. Right? There's a lot of images of those guys throwing parties together.
Don't ruin Stargate for me,
right? I'm saying Roland Emmerich is like, that's the thing. And so, you look at someone like Bryan Singer. Singer's been accused. There's been multiple attempts to take him out. The big one was Michael Egan back in 2014. And that guy lied.
Oh.
And it was proven. It was proven because he was saying that said that he was flown to Hawaii and that he was assaulted in Hawaii. And the dates he gave were not accurate because the dates he gave were easily disproven by Singer because he was shooting X-Men in Toronto at the time. So in the late summer 99 is when this whole thing. So all I'm saying is like there's been accusations made against Bryan Singer. And you know what? I don't know if Robert Meyer Burnett knows anything but Robert Meyer Burnett has been really good friends with Bryan Singer for years. And he has talked very fondly about Bryan Singer, as I've heard, but I don't know where he stands on this issue. The thing is, though, it's like those are accusations. Whether you want to believe them or not are entirely up to you.
Exactly. And I'm not gonna for just to get this out there, I'm not gonna ask him publicly, and I would never even ask him privately about it. If he wants to talk about it, that's his thing. And I know you're not asking him to either. I just want to put that out there.
I'm just saying it's like there's this thing is like, so these accusations get amplified. And then it's the same thing with the woman, Sophia Stewart, who was like suing Warner Brothers over fucking the Matrix movies.
Yeah, I was watching a stream when you were talking about that, and I was like, whoa.
And I spoke with her for over an hour, like on the phone, and she sent me the legal documentations that are like insane. And so it's like when these accusations come out and these lawsuits come out, people automatically assume that a lawsuit means that there has been that there's validity with those claims and that those accusations are legitimate. We don't know. Because if they don't go through all the way, they don't become public record. And so if they don't become public record, we're not going to see what's been introduced, you know, and that becomes a bigger factor here. But because we love canceling things, because we love that immediate love of just kind of coming together like, oh, F this, I mean, there are people out there who've done legitimately terrible things that deserve it 100%, but then look at someone like Andy Signor, who his biggest crime was that he cheated on his wife, and that's fucked up. But then people believed that he was an abuser and that he was an assaulter, and the people still throw that at his face. And it's like, look, as much as I don't like Andy Signor, you
can hit him on actual things, but
I can hit him on real things. And the thing is, I don't talk about it much, but I'm bringing this up as like, that is someone
to say accusations are accusations until they're proven. Right?
And then when my shit went down 3 years ago, dude, people literally tried saying that I was a pedophile, and they contacted CPS. They try to get my kid taken away. You know what? Like, I'm not kidding you. They were trying to like prove that I was this kind of monster of a person. And people today still will act like that is a real accusation against me. I have 2 daughters that I look after. I love my kids. They're my favorite people are my daughters. And I have to constantly like have that in the back of my brain, you know, and like that's absolutely fucked up. And so this is why when you think about these accusations, like you got to think objectively at first and ask yourself where they're coming from and then do your due diligence. You know, but it's such a weird thing. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to keep diving in on this one. That's
well,
terrible,
that's fine. Like
yeah.
it was either way. That was
anyway.
We got to the things I was talking about. It's good talking to each other about.
Yeah, man, you too. We'll talk again soon.
Apologies to those in private chat that we were taking a little too long on my part.
That's okay. It's okay. All right, man. Well, thanks a lot, TW. Have yourself a good one, man. Thank you.
Take it easy.
All right. Mitch, I'm going to bring you in a second. Then it's going to be Andrew and then Tony and then Logan. Let me just kind of get through these here. H. Bart's here. It says here, you keep waking up having nightmares of Enosh. No. Maybe last night, but no. I don't wake up having nightmares of Enosh, but there's that. All right. Let me just kind of... All right. Simon Section, $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Says here, hey, Matt, I enjoyed the latest episode of Bad Batch. Omega's bow reminded me of the 80s cartoon classic Dungeons & Dragons. Would love to see it in live action. Hell yeah, dude. That bow was legit. And then when Sid wielded that bow and like took those 3 shots, man, I was like, because they're establishing that Sid's not someone to mess with. And I really liked the episode too. I thought I didn't care for Trace or Rafa in the Clone Wars, but I kind of liked them there. And that ending, like who are they talking to? I mean, like, you know, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I love Bad Batch. It's such a good show. I love it. It's so good. Thank you, Simon. All right. I know I know you guys are all talking and stuff. All right. H Bart's here. $5. Thank you, man. Says, Matt, nudity can be in Lord of the Rings. It has to be tasteful though. Not like Game of Thrones. I agree, man. Look, I'm not saying it's got to be all blood and titties. All right. Lord of the Rings doesn't need blood and titties. I'm just saying, like, if it does have titties, is anyone going to complain? Stargate, the television show, the movie they made was rated R, had bush and titties. All right. So it's like, you know, no one's ever freaking out about that. Anyway, thank you. Shrek's daddy says there are no gods or kings, only men. # King Charbo. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. And then McLeod here, $10 Canadian. Thank you. Says here, the Blackhawks could hold up could partly be because of Spielberg and Hanks making another HBO World War II miniseries about the true story of the American B-17 bomber crew in the European theater of operations. Oh, I didn't know they were working on another one. Man, dude, fucking Band of Brothers is legit. That is so good. The Pacific was pretty good too, but Band of Brothers was like legit amazing. So, all right. Thank you very much on that one. I'm really hoping we get more of that. All right. Let me just catch up on everything here. Okay, great. Cool. Awesome. Whew. Caught up on everything. Thank you guys very much. All right, Mitch, I know you've been waiting a while, man. I'm not going to try to rush you through, but we got to try to keep it a little bit on the short side.
I got you, man. Anyways, so like in about 15 minutes, like it's going to be my little cousin's 21st birthday. Like it's kind of like crazy how time flies by fast, like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. You know, I remember my 21st. It was wild.
Yeah, and funny thing is, like, on her 6th birthday, it was, you know, June 6, 2006, so 666. So that's kind of funny to know or know.
So are you thinking that your cousin is gonna turn into the Antichrist on their birthday in 15 minutes? Like, are we all gonna die?
No. I'm just saying, like, that's
okay.
Interesting tidbit that I just noticed. Like, maybe like.
So what you're saying is on the night that the Julia Stiles led remake of The Omen hit theaters, June 6, 2006, your cousin was born. 21 years.
No. She was 6 years old.
Oh, well, now I just feel like a fucking moron.
It's fine, but I'm just saying, like, maybe in like 2066, maybe something might happen, but who knows? I don't know, man. She'll be like 66 years old at that point.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you listen to like online, you know, psychics are always like, the world is going to end. Well, when will the world end? The world is going to end tomorrow. Donate to my Patreon to give me all your money. Yeah. Like the Harold Camping thing from 2011. Oh my gosh. The guy out of Northern California that was like 91 and he's all like, the math in the Bible tells me that the world is going to come to an end. Like it was like May 21st, 2011 or some crap like that. And like people believed him. They gave him like all their money. You know, they gave them all their money. They put billboards up everywhere in LA. It was crazy. People thought the world was legitimately going to end at 6 p.m., that the rapture was going to happen. I was at work at the theater in LA, and I'm talking with my coworker at about 5:55 p.m. that day. And I'm like, hey, Carlos, so you think we're going to fucking die? He's all like, maybe.
I mean, I don't actually believe that stuff, but I'm just saying, like, it's just a weird coincidence that my little cousin is like 666 in those years, I guess. Like,
Sure.
weird coincidence.
But no, I get you, man. I get you.
And it's like, there's like another case where I know this guy, like, his son was born like the day before the Mayan calendar, like that prophecy was supposed to happen, like the day before. Like, his son was born the day before. Like, that's kind of crazy knowing that.
I mean, like, yeah, you know, my best friend growing up, he signed up. He signed up for the military, the army. He swore the oath, right?
Right.
And the day before he went to boot, he did all of this, and then he was going to leave for boot camp on. He did this on September 10th, 2001.
Oh shit!
So like, I talked to him that night after he did everything, and he was getting ready, packing up stuff. He was going to take off in the morning, and then I talked to him that night and shit. And then it's like, you know, the next day, it's like, oh wow, yeah, you know. And then but this is true. He was so afraid of having to go to war because he wanted to be a tank engineer, and he was afraid they were going to send him over to Afghanistan because they started like doing the invasion. He literally went to the psychiatrist on base and said he was going to murder everyone with a hammer. Dang. Or something like that. And they booted him. They booted him out, you know? And like, he was never, yeah. And that was mostly because like his wife, they've been married for a long time, but like his wife was a real see you next Tuesday, and she kind of controlled him and everything else. Right. Like, he had asked me to be his best man, and then they got married without telling me when they were going to get married. So I wouldn't be able to show up and like more or less talk him out of it. Like, that is the whole thing. We're no longer friends, by the way, just if you guys can't already tell.
Right.
You know, and I mean, this, yeah, it's a whole weird thing. But anyway, man, I'm going to let you go. I got a few people to get to.
I had like a few things to say. Like, one thing is like, you know, the mattress girl, right?
Okay, well, yeah, I don't want to talk about that because that's a whole other.
I'm not talking about like the whole details of it, but I'm
but it's
like an interesting coincidence is that I went to high school with like one of her friends that she was friends with like in college, and then another thing is like I knew a guy in high school that got murdered in like the Isla Vista shooting, like, you know, the stuff that Monkey Jones talks about. Like,
yeah, well, yeah, no, I get all that, but that's not really like I mean, we kind of like veered off of generally what this stream is about.
I understand, but I was just saying, like,
yeah, because the
like
mattress girl stuff is like 2015. That's like 6 years ago.
I don't know. I just wanted to talk about like some like weird like coincidence stuff that I felt like talking about. Like,
sure, man, I know you waited a while, and I appreciate that. But we'll have to do another stream that's more dedicated to this kind of open topics.
Oh, okay, I understand. Sorry about that.
No, man. It's all good, dude. It's all good. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, dude. All right, we'll talk again, Mitch. Have yourself a good one. Right. Thank you. All right, thank you very much, Mitch. And then we got Andrew.
The realist, gentlemen. The realist is here.
Is it you? It's really you this time. Yeah, you went on camera to prove it.
Like it or not.
Yeah, you had to go on camera to prove it because you had an imposter here the other night. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that wasn't me saying all that stuff.
So what's on your mind, Andrew?
Well, what you were saying about with the Flash stuff, I agree. I feel like with the Batman thing's overshadowing. But on the other hand, I think it'd be pretty cool to see Barry seeing all the different universes in the live action multiverse.
Well, I mean, that's going to be kind of like the connector, right? But at the same time, people aren't going to be rooting for more Barry Allen. They're going to be rooting for more Batman.
Well, but I mean, here's the thing, like, you really had his Flash meet the CW Flash.
Well, yeah. And that was pretty. I mean, I kind of felt it was a bit underwhelming. Like I didn't care as much because I would prefer Grant Gustin to be in the movies. Personally,
well, actually, I read that when the 2017 Justice League was coming out, people were wanting the CW Flash on the big screen instead.
oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, no, he was great. I mean, I like the Flash. I mean, the show's gone to crap in recent years, but I've always enjoyed him in the role. You know, so I mean, I like him there, and I do like that they met and that they kind of established the multiverse thing. And obviously, that's a big thing that Warner's is working on. But at the same time, what I mean is like the Flash in regards to like, let's say the public opinion of the Flash is kind of like if Marvel would have put out a Quicksilver movie, we'd be living. I think they'd be in a different environment because we'd have competition then. The last time we got Quicksilver was 6 years ago.
Their Flash. I meant Quicksilver.
Well, yeah. And like that was just that was kind of dumb because Evan Peters was great in the role for the Fox movies.
Ralph Boner.
I love that. I don't care. I love it. I loved how everyone got so mad at that one because I have a feeling he's not done yet. I have a feeling he's going to come back. I have a feeling Ralph Boner was like he's the one who's like in the witness protection, and I think Pietro is going to be who he is. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when it comes to like how Marvel is going to do their multiverse, I feel like that after Endgame came on, I feel like Marvel needed like something huge to get the audiences back in. And with what they're doing with Spider-Man, bringing the Spider-Man actors together, and what they're doing with Doctor Strange, I feel like that will be the ticket.
Well, it's not even that they need. Well, I mean, they've proven that you don't need something big to get people back in. If you think about it, like, yeah, 2020, they took the whole year off because they had to. And then they put out WandaVision and they put out Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And those both went on to become the #1 show in the world.
And then you got Loki in the next week.
And you got Loki in a couple days. A couple days, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. And then, so you got Loki in a couple days, and that's going to do just as good. And the guy who's show running Loki is also the guy
who's writing the script for Doctor Strange.
He's writing script for Doctor Strange, and he's also writing Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie.
Oh,
so that's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. That dude right now, man, he's getting to play in a lot of cool sandboxes. So I'm excited to see how it turns out because if Loki is good,
Sam Raimi's doing superhero films again.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm kind of bummed Scott Derrickson isn't doing Doctor Strange 2 because I think he.
I mean, you're right. I mean, I did like we did the first movie, but I feel like Sam Raimi's style could kick it up a notch like what he did with Evil Dead. And besides, he made the greatest superhero film of all time, Spider-Man 2.
I would argue that Spider-Man 3 was a better movie.
With Topher Grace's Venom?
Yep.
I'm surprised someone thinks that.
No, obviously not. No, Spider-Man 2 is way better. I like Spider-Man 3. I will defend Spider-Man 3, but I know Spider-Man 2 is a much more competent film. I think if you would have removed Venom entirely from Spider-Man 3, it would have been a way better movie. But Sony, that was all Sony one. It was Avi Arad, I think, really wanting to push like.
Yeah, I even heard that all the changes people have fun with in the MCU Spider-Man was all Avi Arad.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
I read somewhere that apparently like the changes like people have problem with in the MCU Spider-Man, like with the No Uncle Ben and all that, and the Iron Man stuff was all Avi Arad.
Well, though I don't know about that. I think they needed to differentiate it enough from the previous films. That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, because I read somewhere that during the Mysterio illusion scene, the Graves were supposed to say Peter's parents and Uncle Ben.
Well, there was an Uncle Ben reference with the the B Parker or the BP on the case. So there's that, but at the same time, it's like Aunt May is not old. Aunt May is hot Marissa Tomei.
And Peter is looking up to Iron Man not being his own hero.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, and that's a very fascinating angle to it as well that I like. People get really mad at the whole Iron Boy Jr. thing or Iron Man Jr. thing. I'm like, no. Like the thing is like Peter needed a mentor, right? Peter needs a mentor, and in the comics, Iron Man was Peter's mentor.
Yeah,
and they allowed, but the thing is that allowed them to not have to do an origin story, and that also allowed them to establish the father dynamic. Right.
Well, as Tobey Maguire once said, I had a father. Like his name was Ben Parker.
That's right. And we got we got a great performance out of Cliff Robertson with that.
Yeah.
And that was great for what it was. It really solidified it, and Toby really brought it. And Spider-Man 1 is a great movie.
I agree.
But I think though, for the sake of like where we are right now with these characters is, especially ones like Batman and ones like, Spider-Man and whatnot, we don't need another origin story. We just don't need another origin story because we've already seen it so many times. So we can kind of dive into it. And I think that
Spider-Man, you see it like 3 times. But Batman is so many.
Well, no, with Spider-Man, you got Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man, and then there wasn't an origin for Homecoming, right? Or even Civil War. Civil War, you could have argued, was the origin because that's where he got the suit, and that's where he met Tony Stark and he ended up working with the Avengers.
Yeah, but I remember like when this film came out, people were like saying like this movie was way too similar to Spider-Man 1.
Wait, what?
Well, the way the origin went with the spider bite and the good reflexes and all that.
I mean, like, okay, I all right, I guess. I don't know. The thing is, like, I really like Homecoming and Far From Home. I think that Tom Holland has been an excellent Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and I can't wait for No Way Home. And the fact that they worked. Wait, what?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, it's kind of overcutting it. Say that one more time.
That's all right. Well, my top 3 films are Raimi Spider-Man 1 and 2 and Spider-Verse.
Okay,
those are my top 3.
Yeah, Spider-Verse is great. Spider-Verse, I was really surprised with Spider-Verse that it was as good as it was, and I'm looking forward to Spider-Verse 2. I know people were upset yesterday at Issa Rae being cast as Jessica Drew, and I
saw some, I didn't really pay much attention.
She's African American, and Jessica Drew is like a white British lady, so it's kind of like, okay, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. I have faith in the team behind it, and they wowed me once. I'm sure they're gonna wow me again. So I'm okay with all that, and I think as time goes on, we're gonna get a lot more Spider-Man out of Tobey Maguire, or out of Tom Holland, and I mean the dude just turned 25, right?
And
he just turned 25.
People still think he looks like a teenager.
And that's fine. Because I mean, the idea though is like, the rumor is
I feel like the teenager thing has been a little bit too played out. I mean, there were a few incarnations where he's in like college, like in the 90s cartoon when he goes to Empire State University.
Yeah. Well, what I think is going to happen is there's been rumors that what Sony wants Tom Holland to be Spider-Man for a long time, to do like 3 trilogies of films. So it's going to be like high school, college, and then being an adult. And that's the rumor that I heard a long time ago. That seems to be kind of what's happening in some respects. Is Tom Holland keeps saying, "I'll keep playing Spider-Man as long as they'll have me." Clearly, Tom Holland is well loved by Kevin Feige. Feige loves Spider-Man. Like I
heard that he wasn't the original person they wanted for
Spider-Man. He wasn't. Actually, that was a Sony pick. Originally, they wanted Asa Butterfield.
Which I think that would have been cool. In fact, I even heard that before they were going to reboot. I heard they were originally going to put Andrew Garfield in the MCU.
That was something they were discussing because at the time of Amazing Spider-Man 2 having come out, and like it didn't even, I don't know, I don't view Amazing Spider-Man 2 as underperforming. It did about as well as Guardians of the Galaxy back then, but then again, Spider-Man like not doing about as well as a brand new IP is a little bit weird. And the movie, I liked it. I like Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't care. I like the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. But they had their problems with it, obviously. But Feige had reached out to Amy Pascal to, potentially talk about bringing Andrew Garfield over. And then the conversations died. I think in large part because of Ike Perlmutter, like didn't want to do it. And there was this, maybe it was a Sony thing. I'm not too sure, but anyway, the conversation died. And then when the Sony hack happened in the fall of 2014, and we found those emails about that conversation, I flat out said back then, I said, look, man, they've established that the conversation is taking place. People are now going to demand it. They're going to demand it in order to make sure, because that's the best course of action. Bring Spider-Man into the MCU, and then Sony will profit, Marvel will profit, and then they just decided to scrap Andrew Garfield, bring in the new guy, and then they've settled on Tom Holland, which was a Sony pick. And then from there, the movies have made a lot of money and everyone loves him. I mean, so much so that he's now leading the Avengers campus, you know?
Yeah, I saw the footage of him in his own ride. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, you know, in the future.
Yeah, I mean, also in the Avengers camp, you really got the Steve Rogers cap and the Sam Wilson cap around that campus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to fill it with everybody, and it's going to be evolving with the movies. You know, that's why they got the Doctor Strange thing right now, because Doctor Strange is going to be huge next year, and
every character you meet there looks like their MCU counterpart.
Yeah, and that's something that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has not done. They have not done that.
Kylo Ren's there, and Rey.
Rey and Chewbacca. I mean, like, sure, it's cool. It is cool. I mean, it is cool. And Kylo and the First Order troops and whatnot. But it's like, look, I'm just going to say it. Where's Luke? You know, where's Leia? Where's Han?
Characters?
Yeah. Where's some of the other Jedi? Right? Where's Ahsoka Tano? Where's, you know, they have Hondo Kanata. Hondo Kanata's there.
Well, yeah, but I think the reason why they didn't do it because the whole way that plan was, it takes place during the sequel trilogy because
here's the thing with it. That was the stupidest thing they could have done, because you can't market the sequel trilogy. What I mean by that is you can't market the First Order, right? The Empire has got like 18, 19 years of rule, right? Inside, or even more than that, like more like 23, 24 years of rule with the galaxy. So there's stories to be told with stormtroopers, right? There's a history with stormtroopers. How fucking long did the what is it? We got the First Order who weren't even in power, right? Who weren't even in power in The Force Awakens. So they didn't have they had a lot of troops, but they weren't like everywhere. They were still in the outskirts. They were still in the unknown regions. If you've watched Star Wars Resistance, where they were building up their army.
I think it was probably last year when they started the First Order started to become all powerful.
Well, yeah, but did it really? I mean, what happened? They lost their Starkiller base at the end of they took out They took out the capital, right? So they killed Mon Mothma and her planet.
Killed Snoke, and then he became Supreme Leader.
But he became Supreme Leader, but of what? Of the large dark nipple people? I mean, they didn't have any real power. That was the whole point. The whole point was they didn't have the authority. They didn't have the manpower or the weaponry to launch an outright assault on everything. So that's the whole point with the sequel trilogy is the First Order was such a bumbling fool. That's why they had to go back to Exegol and having all those super Star Destroyers with mini Death Star technology on all of them in order to have a reckoning force that they could use to subjugate the galaxy. Other than that, so Force Awakens and The Last Jedi take place within a couple days, right? A couple days.
Yeah, because The Last Jedi literally opens with that base from Force Awakens getting destroyed.
Right. Exactly. So it's a couple days. And then after that, the distance of time between the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker is a year. It's a year.
Yeah, a year.
So is that enough time for Kylo Ren? What is the Resistance doing? What is the Galactic Republic doing? Did the Galactic Republic entirely fall with that? Is there no contingency? I mean, if the Starkiller base took out the Galactic Republic, the New Republic, wouldn't Leia have ascended up as a general? And
that explains why JJ say they should have had a plan.
Well, they had a goddamn plan. They did. They wrote it out. I'm not kidding you. There's an interview with Kathleen Kennedy where she talks about how they plotted out the storyline they had a room with whiteboards and they wrote out the storyline for all three films. They were outlines. They weren't scripts, but they were outlines of the story elements, the story beat points. And those are all there. So it's
I remember when episode 9 was coming out, I saw people theorizing, saying they were going to bring back Hayden Christensen's Anakin, which in my opinion felt would have worked better because it would have tied in all of it together, showing he's the one that brings balance to the Force.
Well, I mean, Anakin was always the chosen one. Everyone thought it was Luke. It was really Anakin. But it's but then again, it's also Luke is gonna have a say in it. But again, what I'm talking about with the Empire is
that reminds me. I feel what you said about the First Order. can you blame them? They were living in the shadow of Palpatine and the Empire.
Well, yeah, no, I don't blame him. What I mean by that is at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, they defeat Kylo Ren, they defeat Palpatine, they defeat the First Order, meaning that threat that was never even really in power, and it might have been on the precipice of getting into power. That threat is now gone. Unlike the ending of the second Death Star and the killing of the Emperor and the death of Vader and the fall of the Empire after that, there were still battles because there were contingents, right? There were other soldiers. Like the Battle of Jakku was the last big battle between the rebellion or the New Republic and the and the Empire. And then even in the Mandalorian, we find out that there's remnants of the Empire that are still hanging around. So what are they going to do?
Yeah, I mean, you don't get like the greater evil like the First Order until like 30 years later.
Well, yeah, and they gave us like no build up into it really, and that's what I mean. Look, here's the thing: I know with like the Mandalorian and all those Disney shows, they're going to be giving us more insight into the First Order and to make them more of a menacing threat, and I'm okay with that. I would actually prefer that. Give us something with Gwendolyn Christie as Phasma down the road because she got effed over by Rian Johnson. Yep. They built her up at The Force Awakens and she was literally nothing in the in the Last Jedi, and give us a way to kind of like redeem her character, so to speak. And that's a big thing as well. But hey man, I'm gonna let you go. I'm just gonna get these like last couple super chats and I got to get to bed. All right, but I appreciate you waiting, Andrew, and coming on and chit chatting, man.
All right, catch you later.
See you later. Thanks a lot, buddy. All right. Thank you to everyone who's called in tonight. Let me just get to this one here. Simon here says, the only good scene in Spider-Man 3, in my opinion, was the Bertha Sandman trying to hold his body together for the love of his disabled daughter. Oh, no, that was great, man. That was great. And I love the end scene because the thing with Sandman's character in Spider-Man 3 is that it was about revenge and redemption. The themes of Spider-Man 3 were revenge and redemption. And that's a big factor. That's a big thing. And a lot of people out there, I think, kind of like forget that was like, again, it was Peter forgiving him for the death of Uncle Ben, right? That was another thing too, is coming into letting go with that, not holding on to anger and hatred. They could have done it in a bit of a better way, but I like Spider-Man 3. I thought they did a good job. It gets a lot of unnecessary hate, that's for certain. And then H. Bart's here says, Iron Man was not Spider-Man's mentor, Reed Richards was, but Spider-Man still wanted to be independent and rarely revealed his identity to people. Well, that is true, but this is also a different iteration of that based upon what is available at the time. At the time of Spider-Man Homecoming, 20th Century Fox still existed, and 20th Century Fox still had the rights to Fantastic Four. So for the sake of trying to tell a story, they needed to kind of alter it in order to still fit the mold that they wanted to tell. And guess what? Iron Man and Tom Holland, their relationship was at the center of Endgame. And it was very much a large reason why Tony did what he did in the end, was not only to protect his daughter, but to protect Peter as well. And so that sacrifice at the end of Endgame was for Morgan and for Peter. So it's like there was a very large emotional connection with that ending. And so I get the Reed Richards angle of it, and that's fine. But it's like, it's just, I think there's a lot there. People get really bogged down in the particulars of that story rather than looking at the emotional resonance and the reason why that happened. So, I mean, that is my take on it anyway. All right, let's do a couple quick things here in the chat. Geeks here says, I was let down by Captain Phasma. I get it. Yeah. Phasma, a Star Wars story. I'd watch it. All right. And, let's see here. As noted, Miggs Mayfeld was a witness to Operation Cinder. That is true. He was. Captain Minman here says, hashtag Captain Phasma deserve better. Yeah. Geeks here says, great stream, Matt. Not feeling well. Night, everyone. Have a good night, buddy. Feel better, dude. All right. So, okay, cool. Let me take a quick look here if I missed anything. What was even the First Order's goal? Their goal was to take over. It was supreme dominance. They wanted to revive the Empire is what they wanted. Yeah, that's what they wanted to. Hold on. Oh my God. I'll tell you this. So, you know how like Ethan Van Sciver was selling those Soilo t-shirts? I saw someone at VidCon 2018 wearing a Soilo t-shirt. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of went full Karen on the guy. Not Karen, but like I challenged him on it because I felt that it was very disrespectful, and like I basically I asked him why. And like he starts going like, oh, he starts trying to justify like, why calling it that. And then I just kept knocking down his arguments to the point of where like his wife had to step in and go, look, it's all entertainment. Okay. And I love that because once you challenge these people over this stuff, they have nothing to fall back on. So they just go, it's entertainment, man. It's all entertainment. I'm like, I was okay with that. I mean, I felt like a little bit of a dick afterward. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done it, but I really don't like Ethan Van Sciver. I really don't like the Phantom Menace. And I don't mind challenging their idiot. If I see their idiocy in person, I have no problem challenging it. And I like it because they never really have an argument to go on. If I ever see a Doomcock was right t-shirt in the wild, oh, that's going to be a fun conversation. That's going to be a fun ass conversation. All right. Peter here says, I wish you can argue that the Enosh, I love Enosh, but he doesn't listen to anyone that loves Endgame. I don't know, man. Like he's got his beliefs. You know, I disagree with him on Endgame as much as I disagree with him about the Snyderverse continuing, as much as I want it. You know what? I mean, he can believe what he wants. Min here says that Soilo thing was massive cringe. Oh, 100%. Geek here asking, or Geek Prime asking, do you think the Star Wars Acolyte show will be any good? I'm hoping. Yeah. Giving us a show about the end of the High Republic and leading it. Look, the show about the end of the High Republic is going to lead in to like the Phantom Menace, right? It's going to be a lead in for that. And that's all for China. They're trying to establish a history here that they can sell to China and other places overseas to build up the fan base and then tie them into where things are now to catch them up to where we are. I think the Acolyte's going to be okay. H Parts here says Endgame is great. Endgame is amazing. Adam here saying, I feel like Enosh has some dumb takes. Dude, I have dumb takes all the time. Everyone has dumb takes. I don't hold it against him. You know, I like going on to his stream and like having a dumb take and it just derailing everything is pretty funny. H Barts here says, when do I get my royalty checks for $3 theater? I don't know, dude. Like, keep giving super chats. We'll keep talking about it. All right. Endgame was an emotional roller coaster. It really was. TW here with a great point. Is it because China was so locked down in the 70s? That is very true. Peter Rabbit's Defender says Endgame is the generation spinner. What the? Let's see. 75 YBA says better chance of DB Cooper coming back before Justice League 2. That's good. That's pretty good. H parts here. China can burn, not the people, but the government. Yeah. I love the Chinese people, dude. The government's crazy, dog. Oh yeah, the new Banner or the old one. That's right. Or the old one, it's clearly the old one, buddy. Anyway, what did Enosh say about Endgame? If I recall correctly, he says like he just didn't like it. He thought it was stupid. He didn't like, I don't know. I mean, like I'll battle him on like Wonder Woman 84, which I did. And I think after a while he came to realize that it wasn't that good of a movie. And I know he likes The Last Jedi and I don't like The Last Jedi. So that's not really a conversation that like I think would be, I mean, I would get mad. That's one I'll get mad over because of the plot holes. Anyway, H Barts, better chance of the Zodiac Killer being found before Justice League 2. Holy crap. Oh my God. 75er says he's just trying to troll Marvel people. I don't think he's trying to troll Marvel people, dude. Right? I don't think, maybe Peter Rabbit is, but I don't think Enosh is. I think he actually believes it. Peter Rabbit here saying Zack Snyder's Justice League is also this generation's version of Lawrence of Arabia. Oh, that's funny. That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty good. Let's see here. H Mart's here asking a good question. I wonder what Martin Scorsese's thoughts are on Zack Snyder's Justice League. Probably just Carnival. You know, I would like to know about that, to be fair. Because I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is done in such a good way that it really just kind of like, I would love to know what he thinks because it's very cinematic and it's very emotional and it's very heartfelt. And it's got a great message and it's got a great script and great acting. I think it's Marvel does homogenize things, and then I'll always admit that, but I love Marvel movies. But Zack Snyder's Justice League was great. It was just good. So yeah, I'd like to know more. All right. So McLeod here says here, the final order in The Rise of Skywalker is for all intents and purposes the final product. That is the true rebirth of the Galactic Empire. The First Order was the beta test. I get you. I mean, like, obviously also kind of like the final solution for galactic control, if you want to kind of go down that pathway. But no, I get you. I mean, obviously, Palpatine had a backup plan, right? He had a backup plan. And I get that. And part of me is like, look, I don't think he should have been like, I don't think, as much as I love Ian McDermott, I don't think he should have been in the last movie. I think it would have been better if Rey was a clone of Palpatine, not Palpatine's daughter, granddaughter, whatever you want to call it, right? But that would have been the clone of Palpatine. And then she wouldn't have known she was a clone of Palpatine. She would have known that she would have been Force sensitive, very, and been able to go back from the dark side, because we've learned that it's kind of fluid at times, going from, because look, Kylo went from the dark to the light. All it took was the death of his mother and his father coming back to say, hey buddy, I love you, right. And all that stuff. So we've seen it before kind of, but they could have just told it in a much better way. They could have done it in a much better way. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm so disappointed by, the Rise of Skywalker sometimes. Anyway, Adam here saying, I still have my copy of Justice League. What do I do with it? Keep it for a memento. Anyway, H. Bart's here. So Scorsese, thank you, by the way, says Scorsese says comic book movies are not cinema. Old directors thought the same as Scorsese. It's the same with old people hating new generations. Well, look at how the fact that Steven Spielberg was actually leading the charge within the Academy in order to make sure like Netflix films and streaming films were not able to compete in the Academy Awards. So yeah, I mean, Mr. I love technology, I embrace technology, I love all this filmmaking stuff, was actively going all Karen on these movies, on Netflix, because he didn't like it. And then, there's no competition with it though. When is Spielberg going to do a movie for Netflix? I guarantee you that's going to happen. If Scorsese did The Irishman, and Scorsese is doing another movie with them because they're the only ones that will fund his passion projects at this point. I mean, like, Spielberg ain't that far behind. It ain't that far behind. I wouldn't even be surprised if at this point in time, and this is just a wild, baseless speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised if like they hit up Lucas and they're like, what you got, dog? Got any ideas in there? I mean, like, Disney's doing Willow. They might bring us some Howard the Duck shit. Like, what you got, man? You want to do a sequel to THX 1138? How about American Graffiti? You want to bring back American Graffiti? I don't know. You want to do another Red Tails, dog? Could be something. Anyway, H. Bart's here. If Rey was a clone, how would they explain her being a female defective? Because, okay, so in the comic, or in the story, by the way, in the story of the Battle of Jakku, right? You find out that there was an empire. The Empire had a base there, and there was a cloning facility underneath that base. And so that's my take on it. Like, what if Rey was a clone, was a baby clone in that underground base, and then the final battle for Jakku happened, and she ended up getting like someone took her away, right? They took her out of there, and then that person died, but then someone else on Jakku, a junker, picked up Rey, and then raised Rey as a junker, not knowing her origin. Even this person wouldn't know her origin. And then from there, she is raised in an environment that is very dangerous, but she has been able to overcome those challenges and adapt to those challenges, which would also be Force sensitivity, which would also then allow, be a reason why she would be able to be as adept as she was and have the survivability that she has had, because she is sensitive with the Force and she can use it. And then from there, she grew up to be a good, kind-hearted person, despite everything else, which goes against the counter programming of what it would have been if the Sith transfer would have happened, right? If Palpatine would have been able to take over on that front, right? So it's kind of like she had her own free will, but she still was Force sensitive enough to where she was able to determine that she was going to follow the light and not go to the dark side, not become a Sith. But when that temptation shows up, is still based upon elements of her DNA. She still might be drawn and questioned going to there because she's more of a gray Jedi. She's more of an in the middle situation. Not having gone to a Jedi Academy, not having worked with the Jedi Temple, so she could easily kind of like be somewhat tempted to go that pathway, but then fight against it. Just the storytelling. I mean, I'm not like the best storyteller, but like I could have written a better story for The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. 100%. It wouldn't be hard to like look at these things and then to craft something that is palatable and entertaining. Not that hard to do. Anyway, do I think Rey is a Mary Sue? I don't actually. I really don't. I really don't think that. Yeah. And then, okay. Yvonne here. That's right. Yeah. Luke has gone to the path of the dark side in the comics. And then Leia and the twins had to bring him back. Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying it's like, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot they can explore. Now Finn being Force sensitive was a bad call in my mind. It was a bad call. Finn, they went Force sensitive as a lazy way out, right? Like we're not going to do any actual character development for Finn. We're just going to say, hey, he's Force sensitive and go from there. What they should have done with Finn is they should have had him be that beacon from within the First Order. He escaped, he defected. And that was a rumor, a myth, a legend, which they talked about in The Rise of Skywalker with Naomi's character, Naomi Ackie's character, Janna. And they should have had her, at that point, he should have been like the person who led the uprising from inside the First Order. Just imagine that. Just imagine if they would have gone on a mission, kind of like the Canto Bight mission, but like better. And him and Naomi Ackie would have gone dressed as stormtroopers, gone in there and, and then talked to other people and been like, this is the guy. This is the guy. And then found other defective stormtroopers and then led a defective rebellion from within inside the First Order during the Battle of Exegol. Would have been a lot better than riding horses on top of a Star Destroyer. Like I'm just saying they could have been like that internal, turnaround, that uprising in the center that no one in the First Order is going to be expecting. So then they're going to be fighting the battle on two fronts, trying to stop them from getting to that, map array thing. Right. And then also having those guys on the outside, all the TIE fighters fighting all the people coming up to help. You could have easily told that story where they could have like, found people on the inside and turned them to be that outward force. Anyway, sorry. I'm like, what, dude? What, man? I'm just trying to like figure it out, man. Are you talking about you're talking about The Irishman? Okay, anyway. But Cloudier, $10, thank you. Says the sequel trilogy novelizations are the true canon to me, given how much stuff is included in the books that weren't included in the films, i.e. Kylo Ren meeting the Eye of Webishbog on Mustafar. Oh yeah, I heard about that. I haven't read the books yet. And I know they did on The Last Jedi. They tried to like, the comic book even tried to like add some stuff, because you could always tell that they were trying to like figure it out, that they were trying to like really expand upon it a little bit, so they did a lot with it. They did a lot with it though. But I need to read those. And then HWAD here says, imagine if Palpatine took control of Rey, better ending. Yeah, no, it would have been a better ending. And this is why also, by the way, The Rise of Skywalker should have been episode 9. Sure. But they should have also done episode 10 to give us something to set up as an ending, as a cliffhanger ending, which would have been Rey taking over, or Rey joining the dark side, and then everyone trying to pull Rey back, and at the same time redeeming Kylo, which I will fully admit, like I didn't really want in the beginning, and then by the end I kind of liked him. So it is what it is. But there's all that. But anyway, guys, I am gonna go to bed because I am tired, and it's late, and it's been a weird day. So I appreciate everyone hanging out, everyone calling in. As always, I love talking to you guys. These are always a lot of fun chats. I should be on tomorrow night when I get done doing my deliveries, probably a little bit later, but it's Sunday. So, whatever, we'll take it with a grain of salt. If you guys have anything you guys want me to talk about, always find me on social media. You guys can also join the Discord. I think the link is working maybe. Real quick here. Okay. Just to make sure, I want to get it. Also with Finn's character arc being Force sensitive, it could be plausible that it was the Force that they snapped Finn out of his programming. Yeah, no, that would have been a thing. They also could have had that. Are you saying they snap Rey out of her programming? because I think that would work out. That would work out. I get that. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be. I think you'd done so much more with it. That's the problem. You know what though? But just the last thing here, and I think Yvonne sums it up great. And Filoni can fix it, and I believe that. I think both Filoni and Favreau can craft a map to get us to the sequel trilogy that will really help soften the blow of a bit of it. And that's what I have faith in. I know that sounds stupid, but I would choose to have my faith in that because I feel like that's a real possibility. And again, I love talking Star Wars with you guys. I love the conversations. Thank you guys so much on this one. We'll talk again later on. Have yourself a great one, everybody. And definitely peace the hell out.